Space, the final frontier. This is a review show for Star Trek The Next Generation. Its continuing mission to explore interesting plot points, to seek out goofs and continuity errors, to boldly go where no other TNG review show has gone before. It's Wednesday. It's 8 o'clock. It's the TNG Review Show. Hey. Whoop, whoop. Good evening, everyone. It's us again. We're back for another TNG Review Show with myself, Monty Man, my co-host, Mazza McBob, Tabikins Turner, and Chief Sean. How you doing, everyone? We'll start off with Maz and McBob because, Maz, we haven't seen you in a while.
I know. What with my hollybob and then having a cough to cold, and I lost my voice last Wednesday, which was very inconvenient.
Yeah. Well, welcome back. I hope you did have, despite the coughs and the colds, I hope you had a lovely time.
Yeah. Well, I didn't get the cough until after Athens.
Oh, that's good.
Beautiful, lovely weather.
That's good. Good evening, Tavikins. I've seen you doing your excited dance during
Got the fans.
I love that song.
We're on the hill.
It is so epic.
You get so excited.
Chat was commenting on how epic they thought the intro was as well. This is a nice intro, impressive.
Hey.
Thanks, Alexa. Monty's hard work there.
Yeah, thank you, Alexa. Yeah. I should credit what's that game called, Sean, with the virtual
Stage 9.
Stage 9. Yeah, I should credit Stage 9 for some of the external shots of the Enterprise. But yeah, no, thank you very much for that. Chief Sean, how are you doing this evening?
I'm good, thank you. Nice miserable weather we're having here in Ireland. It's rainy and flooding, but sure, yeah, we're indoors and we're having fun, so who cares?
Who cares?
The way you're sat at the con, you're in Data's place.
Yeah, he is taking Data's place, isn't he?
Andrew thinks I've got Q powers because I've found the power to enlarge myself.
Oh, crikey!
Very cool.
I can also levitate.
Your powers are amassing each week, Sean. It's impressive.
Getting out of control. You're a bit like Barkley. We just saw an episode on that.
Yeah. He's plugging himself into the holodeck next, and yeah, taking over the stream. Good evening, live chat. Good evening to you all out there. I see we've got Andrew on board. Good evening, Andrew. Subspace Chatter. Good evening, Dan. It's good to see you. Good to have you along. Alexa, welcome to the stream. I hope you enjoy it. My Alexa's talking to me for some reason.
That is a problem.
Yeah, of course. I said the magic word, didn't I? I was like, why is Alexa talking to me?
Give Alexa a code name so that we don't be saying it and setting off your machine.
I'm sure she really appreciates that happening to her constantly.
Oh, dearie me. Yeah.
Just like, Alexa played Despacito straight across the office.
Good evening to Ruth. Hi, Ruth. And Stu Plum. I've got questions this evening. I've got a full 6 questions, and we've got our points tallier, Mazima Bob, back. So the points will be back to normal this week. And
it'll be on the 20, 40, 60 type range.
20, 40, 60. There's a couple.
We've got Smiler and G-Star have also said hi in chat.
I was going to say, Alexa's happy to go by Lex.
Lex. Okay, Lex. Look cool. Yeah.
Could be a super villain.
And hopefully OK Google is not in the chat, or else we'll be in real trouble.
Yeah.
And if Siri turns up, it's going to get all sorts of messy.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the questions are quite easy this evening. I think it should be quite easy. So there'll be lots of points.
Might need to use your figurine as a tiebreaker then.
Maybe I'll find one in my bag of figures. But also there is a couple of bonus questions as well.
Dang it! That always gets me.
Yeah. Is your husband playing? Sorry. You'll get another win, don't worry.
On purpose, Mom. You're doing this on purpose now.
Oh,
you know how bad I want it.
I know you do. This could be your night tonight, Tavi. This could be your night.
I don't feel particularly bright tonight. I had a drink before the show.
I do have my blood wine. I have some blood wine. So
as do I.
I'm here stocked. Oh, we've got blood wine.
So do I. In a Hop House 13 glass that someone left on a windowsill because I am classy.
That's
nice.
Class.
Mine's in one of those JP Sinead glasses, which are like bendy and wonky.
Oh, yeah.
They look like they're kind of drunk.
I'm interrupting. Panko!
Supreme! Good evening to you. Hail, Supreme Banco. Welcome on board. So, tonight we are here to talk about Qpid, the 20th episode of Season 4. We're definitely on the downward stretch of Season 4 now. With episode 20. Its production number is 40274-194, and it first aired on the 22nd of April, 1991. It was the 93rd episode to be both produced and released. The story was by Randy Russell, who was a one-and-done a writer for Star Trek. This was his only episode, and he wrote it with Ira Stephen Bear. I think we talked about Ira before in the past. I think.
Yeah, with the purple beard, but I'm just still laughing at Randy Russell. It just sounds like a dog.
Randy Russell.
Just out for Randy Russell.
Yeah. It's his third of 3, actually, Ira. This is his last TNG episode that he got writing credit for. But, of course, he went on to write 53 episodes of Deep Space Nine. So.
Yeah, you would have seen interviews with him in the past. If you've seen What You Left Behind, he's the guy with the purple beard. Generally glasses, pork pie hat, kind of looks like Heisenberg.
Yeah. The episode was directed by Cliff Bole. This is his 14th of 25 episodes. The last one being First Contact. So we talked about him then.
Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say, you told me the Bolians are named after him.
The Bolians are named after Cliff Bole. That's correct, yeah.
And didn't he play one once just for fun?
Oh, did he?
Did he? Oh, maybe I got that wrong.
Oh, he very well might have done. He very well might have done.
I might have that wrong. Don't quote me. Dan will tell us.
Oh, and I've forgotten to say hello, Smiler Rainbow. Smiler Rainbow's in chat this evening. My wrench is here.
G-Star posted a have a good evening, guys, as well.
Oh, evening, G.
Him to drop by.
Yeah. Who wants to see the trailer for the episode? Yeah. Let's have a look at the trailer.
Karen's not here. Is it Cass for short?
Karen usually joins us late, so she could still pop in half an hour or so.
Yeah.
It's the Picard episode. She needs this.
I know.
Yeah, I know.
Him in his nightwear and everything.
I'm not sure she's going to make it today. Unfortunately, she had some bad news before she went on holiday recently. She has a business, which is like a massage aromatherapy well-being center. Unfortunately, it burnt down. So she's kind of clearing up a mess at the moment. So our thoughts are with you, Karen. I hope it's, you're getting things under control. And if you see this later, yeah, our thoughts are with you. So there we go. Right. On with I'll do it this way so the guys in the panel can hear it. Here we go.
The evil Q returns.
I have a debt to repay.
He's turning Picard into the Prince of Thieves.
Oh, no.
You're Robin Hood.
And forcing him to play a real-life game of survival.
This is not a mission. It's personal.
Should have left while you had the chance.
It appears there's going to be a double execution.
Medieval Trap next time on Star Trek: The Next Generation.
If there was ever a trailer where that 1980s action music didn't fit, that was it.
Yeah.
That just did not work, did it, with that music? But never mind.
Not terribly well, no.
Shots Wolf's, he's a tactical.
I'm all the way at the back.
Oh, nice.
Hello, Sean, are you there? Where are you?
Sir, I recommend we fire phasers.
Oh, dear.
I am not a merry man.
Yeah, you protest. Oh, that's funny.
Brilliant.
Oh, dear.
Okay, I'll go over here.
Right, I'll just get your first picture up. Hang on a minute. First picture of the night. And guess what it is of? There she is.
Data.
No.
Oh, it's a D
The
pic.
big D.
I started off with a D pic. Yeah, there we go.
I'm really not open it up.
Yeah, so the teaser starts with the Enterprise arriving at Tagus 3. It's hosting a Federation Archaeology Council annual symposium where Picard will be giving a keynote address. By the way, again, a nice new HD planet for the Blu-ray version. In the ready room, Deanna arrives and lets Picard know how preparations are going. Picard takes a chance to quiz her on his keynote speech and how it should be structured. She tells him to relax. It's a brilliant speech. Don't worry about it. But it's good to see him actually seeking some advice from Troy outside of, just reading people's minds or, getting the lowdown on opposition. But yeah, on his speech, we see a close-up of the tablet here in HD. You can actually read. I can't actually see it in this picture, but there are some Easter eggs on this tablet to people that worked on the production of this episode.
I will say the other thing you can tell it's an old school bulb. Like nowadays, they'd have a whole array of LEDs. It's like one singular light source.
Yeah, it's sort of bright in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, it was the 90s. They couldn't do any better, but yeah.
A lot of these displays have been
Actually, it was
redone, haven't they? But
2300.
2300s.
So,
A couple of
war set 'em back.
There's a hidden 47
World
there.
War.
It ends
yeah,
at
that,
7-4.
7-4. Yeah, there is. Yeah.
Monty,
Yes.
I know this is about Picard, but please tell me you have some data photos for me.
I'm afraid the data photos, Tavi, in this episode are a little bit scarce.
Can you just put random ones up?
Okay, well, Tavi, I can do something for you. Hold on, because I've been playing with my toys. As you can tell.
Sean's got you. Sean's got your back. Look.
There we go. Thank you.
There you go. Sean's got your back.
We'll do a bit of data dancing.
Yeah, I need a fix. Okay, I have a problem.
Yep. We know. One thing to note in this scene, there is Picard has a book, Shakespeare, the illustrated William Shakespeare book, and it's open on a page here that actually has a photo of Patrick Stewart. I don't know what role he's playing, but that is a photo of Patrick Stewart in a William Shakespeare book. Right there. Just thought I'd show that. Just out of interest.
Cool. I did notice the book, but I can't say I realised that. That tapestry you see on his chair, that's one, I think it's Mintaken, is it?
Mintaken, yeah. Who watches the Watchers.
Yeah. You see it forevermore after that, but and it kind of comes and goes a little bit, but yeah, it's not supposed to. Yeah, to be fair, it's a nice bit of continuity. They kept it on for all that time.
Yeah, after Who Watches the Watchers, we pointed it out a few times, didn't we? It does crop up. Which is
It
good.
does. It's good. It's a nice bit of continuity, isn't it?
Has it always been in his room though? Was it not in his ready room?
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
it's
it
always
was,
been here. Yeah.
Ah.
However, talking about ready room to the room, we see the same Shakespeare book open at the same page with the same photo in the background. Yeah.
And that bust, if you take the head back and press the red button, it opens a wall and then you can go down the bat holes.
It's Batman. Okay, question number 1. Who's up for a question? In his quarters, when Picard arrives, he finds a what? Is it a Tox Utat? B, a Horgan? C, a Jamaharon? A Jamaharon, sorry, get it right. A Jamaharon, C. Or D, a packet of Ultra Ribbed? So, what does Picard find in his quarters? A Toxutat, B, a Horgan, C, a Jamaharon, or D, a packet of Ultra Ribbed? And there you go. That's your question number 1.
After the answers come up, I have to relay a very short and silly and immature story about the item that you've questioned about. It amuses me as the lower whore, but it may not for the upper class personnel in this. But I got to put it in there.
Okay.
There are upper class personnel.
I don't know them, but there may. Our live listeners might be. You know, we can't judge.
Yeah,
can't
that's
judge.
true. Can't tell.
So Vash appears, saying she came in through the window, foreshadowing, which, you know, I like a bit of foreshadowing.
Mm-hmm.
And they kiss, which is nice. Yeah. Get a nice smoochy scene between Picard and Mash. Now, reading about this episode, I did not know this. At this time, they were engaged.
I didn't know.
Yes, I didn't know that either. I was like, how have I liked Star Trek all these years?
How did I not know that? I'm sure Subspace Chatter out there knows this because he knows everything.
He wrote Memory Alpha, so yeah, I'm sure.
But yeah,
retry. That's better.
Patrick Stewart divorced his wife the year before, and they started a relationship. And by Qpid, they were engaged.
By Qpid, they got engaged.
Yeah.
I just noticed in the shot they're leaning to the left into the kiss. No, nobody leans left into a kiss. That's done for camera purposes.
I didn't appreciate
when you
that.
see it, it looks pretty damn awkward. Also, Vash's left hand goes up. She's right-handed. Why is her left hand up there? So yeah, again.
I don't think she's right-handed. Later on,
Isn't she?
actually is using her left hand.
Okay, fair enough. I might be wrong on that.
They cupidly
I
got
thought
engaged.
this was weird because Picard has that creepy eye open kiss thing that creeps me out. I was like, only Data can pull off having an open eye kiss like he did in the other episode. But right now, it just looks like he's like, doesn't that look weird? He's on the back side of the kiss and he's got his eye open. Like he's looking at her ear.
Yeah, yes,
I
damn,
didn't know
Subspace Chatter
everybody
was
goes a
aware of
certain
it.
way in kissing.
No, but now you say it, you do go to the right. I was trying to think.
Yeah, everyone goes to the right. All the
Yeah.
time.
I don't know.
It's just an agreed. It's like a handshake. It's right. It's just most people are right-handed. That's the standard.
Right. Okay. Well, there you go. Yeah.
I want to kiss somebody now.
Go find the beard. Is he around?
Yeah.
He's at work, so he has to get all my kisses on Friday. So he's pummeled when he comes into the
But
house.
just next time, just lean into the left, just to like, what are you doing?
Just
work
to
it
mess
out.
with him.
Who are you?
I'm giving you a bash. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
That sounds like a rash.
I know. That's just not good.
Right. So anyway, that was the end of the teaser. Have we got anything else about the teaser, Mazma Bob, that you found out? Any interesting points?
I guess not specifically about the teaser per se, but I think you covered some of this at the beginning. But yeah, that they were originally, tossing around the ideas. I think Randy Russell originally came up with the idea of having a love triangle, and Michael Piller said, they were trying to toss things around, and then they were thinking about trying to put them into a different setting, and initially came up with Camelot as an idea. But then this was like around the time when Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves was going to be coming out. So there was a bit of like Robin Hood fever at the time. So they decided to do that as it was a bit more topical, which, they all agreed was a better idea. And Michael Piller, Stephen Bear was a huge Robin Hood fan. So they kind of like passed that to him to sort of, develop as the idea, because it was something that he was particularly interested in.
Cool.
And obviously, Jennifer there, like this is the second episode she's been in.
So
Third
yeah.
episode being Culis in.
Just look how Tavi's face lights up. Look, when she's like brushing up against his cheek. She like becomes radiant. There we go. Yeah, so the answers to question 1. Hopefully we've got a lot of bees in chat. I saw a lot of bees. I'm covered in bees.
Yeah, lots of B's. Alexa said B, but said, but I hope he has D with him as well.
Yeah. Anybody know what a toxutat is?
A what?
Oh,
Yeah,
that's the Romulan, ancient Romulan weapon, is it? The one with the 3 parts? Oh no, that's the Stone of Gaul. Damn it!
It's the artifact they were after when they were on holiday in Risa.
Yeah, that was hidden inside the Horgan. So,
okay,
yep. And a Jamaharon?
Jamaharon.
Yes.
That's what your Horgan signifies you are looking for.
Yes.
Is a coupling.
Yes. There we go. Dan knew all those things.
Funny
Okay.
anecdote I have for that.
Okay. Oh, yes. Your anecdote, Tavi. Go on then.
There's an epic private documentary on sex in Star Trek. Yes, of course, the lower horror would know about this, and there's a part 2. And I think one of them's 5 hours. But the lady that's doing this has a guest star come in. It's someone who hasn't seen Star Trek at all, and of course he gets to see sex with like Risa and how like sex working is depicted. But the poor guy, he couldn't pronounce it. He was like, "Is this a horny gun?" And I'm like, "How fitting, a horny gun."
A horny gun.
And I didn't hear what he was saying for like 5 minutes because I was sitting there going, "Oh."
A horny gun.
I'll say one thing for the Rysians. Curzon Dax was an old man. I think he was over 100 years old, and they take their job seriously. Like they straight up knocked him off.
Oh.
Literally and figuratively.
Oh my. I needed a... on that.
Panko didn't answer.
Oh,
However,
Panko's actually at work, so she's going to be dipping in.
Oh,
and
she'll be dipping
Bless.
in.
well, everybody else is on 20 points.
Hey, well done,
All
everyone.
in the lead. I'll savor this moment because I won't stay in the lead for very long.
I've got lots more TNG points to give away. There's plenty in the bag, so don't worry about it yet. Panko,
Alexa,
if you're around.
Yeah, she'll be able to come back, I think. For Alexa, Dan is an understatement saying that I have a massive crush on Brent Spiner. That's an understatement. The guy doesn't know me yet. I've never met him, but he probably should put out a restraining order.
I think maybe the word rabid is more.
I have the paperwork.
Yeah, rabid. Rabid crush.
I have the paperwork standing by somewhere in the office, just in case it ever happens.
Just tweet it too. I'll be like, man, you don't know her, but I know her.
Yeah.
Alexa loves Brent too.
Well,
Yeah, that's-
you have a fellow Brent admirer. Okay, so we're into Act 1, and it's the next morning. Picard and Vash are having breakfast. Ooh, she stayed over. And we know what you did. So they're just they're discussing why she's there. Vash is vague in her responses to whether she's a part of the Archaeology Council. She says she's here to see him, of course, but he doesn't believe her.
I should point out the Independent Archaeology Council came up again in an episode 3 or 4 episodes ago on Lower Decks. So still very relevant today, 31 years later.
Cool. I did not spot that. Oh, yes.
At the fair, when the jobs fair.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, it's very much a nod to this episode. Well, or to Vash in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, then there's a boop at the door. And Picard gets up and tries to head it off.
Looks like he's about to have a panic attack.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, I don't want anybody in here. I'll meet them in the corridor," type thing. He tries that, but it doesn't work. And of course, it's Beverly Crusher, and she's surprised that Picard's got company because she usually has breakfast with him. And he introduces Beverly, Dr. Beverly Crusher. Vash is like, "Jean-Luc has told me all about you whilst we were on Riser." And Beverly is surprised that Jean-Luc's never mentioned her. Because, of course...
Look at his face.
Yeah. And that last... Yeah, he's I know. It's,
Don't know if you guys
anyone who's ever been in that position just knows the feeling of just wanting your body, the ground to swallow you up. You know, just go,
Caught with his hand in the cookie jar.
And this is how he's
over with.
like, he hasn't even had his croissants yet, and this is how breakfast has turned out. He's kind of like, he's protecting himself right there.
Yeah, that's a really sort of closed off defensive kind of pose, right?
I think I'll go to Keiko's for plankton and seaweed because it'd be less uncomfortable than staying in this room right now.
Yeah.
And apparently this scene played out really differently than what the original script said. So like the script was just literally he introduced them and that was about it. But obviously they had quite an elaborate conversation around, where did they meet? And, whether or not Picard had told Bev about Vash and things like that. But the original script wasn't as nuanced and kind of fun as what it turned out to be in the scene.
Yeah. It's Alexa says it's an honorable death. So Beverly's surprised that Jean-Luc never mentioned Vash, and Vash is surprised that he's never mentioned her. Vash asks Beverly for a tour of the ship, and the Doctor's happy to give her one. They leave with...
I say he is. No, wrong person.
So, they leave Vash with Vash promising to behave herself, and of course, she won't.
In the UK, did that song with Brandy and Monica, "The Boy Is Mine," ever come out?
Yeah.
Yeah, the second I saw that.
She's Snoop Dogg's cousin, isn't she?
I have no idea.
Okay, I think she is. She was more famous for being on Moesha than she was for her music. But yeah, it did come out.
Why was that? What was the reference?
She was on a show called Moesha.
No, don't know it.
Yeah.
Well, it was on Nickelodeon. You were probably a bit too old for it when it came out.
I've seen Moesha.
The song was "The Boy
Fairly
Is
recently,
Mine," so
actually.
they have this split screen where two women are interested in the same guy, and he's going back and forth to both of them. So in this scene, I thought about it. He's been having breakfast with Beverly this entire time, and there's always been that sexual tension. But he's got Vash on the side, so it's like, "The boy is mine." I was like, "Oh Lord!"
He has her on the side. He's never mentioned her as well.
He should have just died right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this scene, Crusher seems to be out of her normal work clothes. It's kind of unusual because if she wanted any scrubs, she just needs to look at the side of her best friend's ride.
Oh, yeah. Very good. Very good. What do we think of this off-the-shoulder jumper?
Yeah,
I like it.
They
I
were
quite
fairly in
liked
about 4 or 5 years ago. All the women were wearing them. Just like anything, fashion comes around.
Smiler Rainbow
I thought
thought
it
it
was a bit
looked silly.
scandalous to be showing up at the captain's quarters with your looking like your clothes about to fall off.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
My night dress is similar. It's like a little off-the-shouldery on one side thingy.
Not like
I
Picard's
quite
night
like that
dress.
look.
It's not
No.
okay on the front.
Asymmetry does some people's heads in if they're a bit OCD. They don't like things being sort of off-center or whatever. But yeah, I quite like it.
I used to actually go around my house and put photos off crooked just to mess with people that came over that I didn't like.
Yeah, I've got a friend who that would really do her head in. And if your like knives and forks don't match, oh, she can't cope with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think compared to a lot of the casual wear we've seen on this series, which has been absolutely gopping, I'd say this was a much better effort.
It's not too bad. And as Alexa says, it's the blue kind of suits her hair color. She looks pretty in that color. Yeah.
And I love those legs. She has legs for miles. You just want to climb up them.
It's not so different from what people are wearing nowadays. I mean, it wouldn't look too out of place, in the modern world if she was walking around like that. You wouldn't say that looks 80s or 90s. It's
No.
like, yeah, that's fine. Just a little bit off, but not really.
So they've entered 10 forward, and she's instantly piquing Riker's curiosity, is Vash, which of course she is. And she goes and looks out the front window, and he comes over and tells her that eternity's never looked so lovely. She's like, oh, you must be Commander Riker. You're about to tell me my eyes are as mysterious as stars. And Riker's taken aback, assumes she's Betazoid, and read his mind. But no, she informs him that Jean-Luc does a good impression of him. But, question number 2, we've lost Maz and McBob. Maz and McBob's gone. Come back, Maz. Where have you gone? No. Oh, her battery on her laptop died and she forgot to plug it in.
She'll be back with us shortly.
Yeah. Okay. Well, while she's gone, we'll cover question 2. On what planet did Picard and Vash meet? Was it A, Trill, B, Delta 4, C, Nimbus 3, or D, Risa? What planet did Picard meet Vash? Was it A, Trill, B, Delta 4, C, Nimbus 3, or D, Risa?
He tasks me, and I shall have him. Can't get the audio to work. It's annoying me.
It's much better if you voice it in.
I think it's better that way, Sean.
Okay, let me just try one more. Hold on. I'm programmed in multiple techniques.
Yeah. It honestly, it's an improvement with your vocal, I think.
I don't have many of these. I only got to play with it for a few minutes. Hold on. Okay, one last one. Star trekking across the universe, always going forward because we can't find reverse.
Oh dear.
Oh, we set Tabby off. All right, she had to mute herself. That was, you got her good when she mutes herself.
Was that the Firm?
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Can you tell I have a new toy?
You have a new toy.
Oh,
yeah. I can tell.
I've been playing with OBS that's what I did on my Sunday. Anyway.
There we go. Right, so Riker tells her that his vacation must have been a lot more interesting and better than he let on. Vash is again surprised that Jean-Luc never mentioned her. The doc gets called away, so Riker takes over the tour. So they end up on the bridge. Worf is initially not pleased that some rando has been given bridge clearance, but Riker tells him she's a guest of the captain. Vash hammers this point home by going and sitting in the command chair with her,
my comments on Facebook, right?
with her feet, her shoes up on the captain's chair.
I also love how
you're not seeing the pictures. Hang on, sorry. I do apologize.
I also love how Picard refers to it. This is Vash, and then everyone else for the rest of the episode calls her Vash. Vosh.
Vash. Here is.
Don't do it! Oh my God! I don't want to see it.
Here is Worf not being happy that she's been let on the bridge, and here is. Oh no! Skip. I'm going to do the wrong one again. Here is. Yep. Vash with her feet on the command chair. Disgraceful behavior.
The second I saw that set me off. Oh my God. And I hadn't seen this episode in a minute, but I looked at it, I'm like, if that pig don't get them feet out that chair, she got her shoes on. I don't care if the whole ship is carpeted. I don't care. This entire episode, I think she thought that Captain Picard was upset because of all of the other stuff and she being on the bridge and everything. No, he was actually upset because bitch sat herself down in his chair with her shoes on. If he hadn't done that, he would have been cool this whole episode.
Yeah. You can't be doing that. Sorry, Dan's just made me laugh. He's programmed in multiple Trek geeks. That was good. You get out of this, Dan.
He
you
is
get out of this.
programmed in multiple Trek geeks.
Yep, there you go. Okay, where were we? Well, anyway, Picard enters, gives her an evil stare, and she leaves the bridge to ready up for the conference. In the reception, Vash finds Councillor Troy and is surprised to find that the captain didn't even mention her to the ship's councillor, who he's supposed to confide in. I don't know. Vash is not too happy about this. As she walks,
She's getting more insulted by the minute.
yeah. As she walks off,
there you go.
Worf comments.
Oh! Thank you, Lord.
Data is right over my shoulder, dancing for your pleasure.
Yeah,
No,
well, here he is. Look, he's actually on screen.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Yeah.
One of the rare appearances we get of Data.
I could just run my hands through the hair. Okay, I'm gonna mute out while I make inappropriate noises.
Worf thinks Vash has nice legs for a human. You can see he's watching her walk away there.
Good tea, nice house.
Good tea, nice house. Vash interrupts Picard, who's talking to a Vulcan, rare appearance of a Vulcan in TNG, and asks him why he never has mentioned her to any of her crew. He's not talked about their adventures or how he met her. Nothing. Picard, though, to his defense, says it would be inappropriate for him to talk about his personal life to the crew.
Well, you say that, but like, surely he had to, file a report with the whole, Toxu Tot thing. I mean, he couldn't just not let Starfleet know about that. So.
Well, he can talk about he can talk about it with his uppers, but doesn't talk about it with his.
It's on file somewhere that the time travel and temporal affairs and all that have to get involved. So.
What was he gonna say? He should have just counted her. He's like, and how would you like me to do that? That you were some honey I met on Risa?
Burn.
That don't even sound right.
Burn.
I was like, he's like, I can go tell everybody that, hey, this is the honey I met on Risa. And the looks you're gonna get are not gonna be happy.
What happens on Risa stays on Risa, except for chlamydia. That'll follow you anywhere.
Oh no, the biofilters stop it. I made a stupid joke earlier that every time Riker comes back, I'm pretty sure O'Brien comments on the biofilters being overloaded.
I don't know if you see it in Lower Decks where they clean out the holodecks and they've got like
filters, scrubbers,
basically big organic modules of all the things deposited.
Stop
in
now!
And
Stop now, Sean.
Yeah, oh, that's as much as I was gonna say.
All right, okay. Anyway, Picard says it's inappropriate. He apologizes if he's upset her, which he has. I was like, sorry. And she's like, sorry, I embarrass you then. And walks off. She walks off, leaving him alone. So then Picard leaves the function as well and heads to his ready room. As he passes by the bridge, Riker asks how the reception went, and Picard replies with a curt "splendid" as he marches by. In his ready room, he finds Q sitting in his chair. Q's pleased to see him and asks for a big hug. And that's the end of Act 1. Mazza McBob, welcome back. You've fixed your laptop.
Yeah, I knocked out the cable when I was putting my ring light on, but I didn't realise, and it flashes up saying battery's low, and then just goes.
Oh,
you've had that laptop a while, I take it.
Yes, very long while.
Yeah, my old laptop was like that about 6 minutes and the battery gone.
I know. On my week after being in Athens, my plan that week was to go laptop shopping, and I ended up, sort of ill. So I didn't really do much laptop shopping, but I do need to get a new one soon.
Yeah, well, I like my one, but I did spend €1,300 on it, so maybe not the one I got.
Yeah, mine are sort of similar. I tend to get like a Surface Pro, but I don't really need an expensive laptop. I should go for something cheaper, really.
No, maybe you can write it off as a business expense.
Probe.
Certainly
Yeah,
will.
I do charge it to my
You
business.
will. Yeah, that's exactly.
All
I'll
it
go
means
for
is
it, though.
it just means that you don't pay tax on that amount of money. You don't really.
Yeah, well,
So it's like 20% off, effectively. Yeah.
You may as well get your money's worth.
Yeah.
Okay, was there anything else on Act 1 that we need to... Should we go straight to the question? I told you the questions were easy.
Question. Everybody answered D.
D, Riser. Yes. A, Trill. We know what Trill is. Trill's home of the... Trill.
Surprise!
What about
naming there?
What about Delta 4? Does anybody know what Delta 4 is?
That's where Ilya is from, isn't it?
Ilya.
From the motion picture.
Correct. That's the home of the Deltons in Ilya, who are sworn to celibacy. Because once a male mates with a Delton, they can't be satisfied or can't be interested in anyone else. So
yeah, it's a bit like Tendi in Lower Decks. She had to get like denatured or depheromoned or something, so she was able to serve in Starfleet, because otherwise it would just be, nobody would be able to concentrate in their work.
And Nimbus 3, does anybody know where Nimbus 3 is from?
That is from Star Trek 5. Wait, is it Star Trek 5?
It is Star Trek 5. It's the planet of intergalactic peace.
Yes. Yeah. And Nimbus is the name for a cloud as well.
Mm-hmm.
If I had those pheromones.
And the guy who plays the main guy in it, his name's St. John. He went on to play, is it David Warner? Sorry. David Warner was the main character in that, and he went on to play, I want to say Gulavec, there are 4 lights.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, in Star Trek 5. Yeah. Yes, Alexa said, nice to see Livingstone in this shot. The lionfish. There he is. Rare sighting of Livingstone.
I will say when Jellicoe takes it over, he gets rid of the fish, so he's gone for a while. And also in the episode where everyone mutates because of that Barclay disease, metamorphosis, he actually turns into a jellyfish or something.
It does, and
in the background shots,
Riker tries to eat him.
Really cool.
Riker tries to break
him. Oh yeah,
him.
he's banging on it.
Yeah.
But they actually change it from whatever type of fish it is to I don't know, jellyfish or something. I can't remember.
Yeah, it is a jellyfish. Yeah. So well done, everyone. If everyone said D, it is Riser. You all get loads more points.
60 points.
The next question does have a bonus question, so yeah. See how that works for you. On to Act 2 then. Q's like, don't just stand there, say something. Because get out of my chair.
Also, Q must have been on another job, because this is the only time we ever see him with a mullet.
Yes, that's right. It's true. Yeah, his hair is a lot longer than it has been, isn't it?
He obviously had another role coming up and he couldn't cut it because I know it was the early 90s, we were barely out of the 80s, but no.
It does look right as the Sheriff of Nottingham, though. So, yes, because get out of my chair. Q is he's looking for something more like, hello, my old friend. But no, he just got barked at. But that's Q. That's what he deserves, isn't it? Q informs him that he's come to repay his debt for when Picard helped him when he was stripped of his Q powers. Picard doesn't have time for this. Picard doesn't have time for all his shenanigans, though, because he's trying to write a speech. Q tells him he's read it. It's dull and plodding. He could help him with it if he wants, but Picard declines. Really, Picard should have just picked him up on that and said, yeah, all right, help me with the speech. And then he
went away.
There you go, my debt dues repaid. And he would have gone. But I don't think it was ever going to be that easy with Q, was it?
Just summon me up and Earl Grey hot.
Yeah.
Couldn't he have said something like, can you give us the technology to create ships that would have a superior throughout the entire galaxy so we could protect ourselves while we're exploring? I mean, you just simple shit.
Could have done.
Could have done.
They've turned down Q's presence and powers before in order to forge our own way in the universe.
Yes, once you get hooked on the Q power, you never put it in.
I don't know if you guys know Stephen He. It's another channel, but he's an Asian guy who is like a character that's making very funny comments in relationship to like how he grew up, and his dad is always saying things like so stupid. And so every time I see this scene, I'm thinking about him. It's like failure.
You should look up Uncle Roger. You might appreciate him.
I love Uncle Roger. Hi, y'all.
I don't know Uncle Roger. I'm gonna have to look that up.
He's a Malaysian guy who comments on cooking videos and just basically tells you how. But he plays it up in stereotypical way and just makes fun of all the cooking and how bad it is. Like Jamie Oliver tries to make fried rice with like microwavable packet rice, and it's bad.
And chili jam. He will never get over chili jam.
Yeah, didn't use sambalolek, he used chili jam. Yes, I'm not explaining it right. You just have to watch.
Moving on. So Q here is looking cute in his safari outfit. He informs them that I ran out. Q points out that Picard has never been to the ruins of Tagus 3. Picard laments that he hasn't. It's not allowed. Q offers to take him there, but as that's breaking the law, Picard refuses. In fact, he refuses all of Q's offers. Q leaves, telling Picard he's impossible to buy a gift for. Picard informs Riker that Q's here to do him a favor. Riker says he will alert the crew. But question 3... when they get turned into merry men, what merry man does Worf get turned into? Is it A, Little John, B, Will Scarlet, C, Alan Adale, or D, Maid Marian? A, B, C, or D. And for a bonus point, which 2 crew members do not get named Robin Hood characters? So, A, B, C, or D, what character did Worf get turned into? Was A, Little John, B, Will Scarlet, C, Alan Adale, or D, Maid Marian? And for bonus points, which 2 crew members did not get named Robin Hood characters? They were just generic Robin Hood character number 1 and generic Robin Hood character number 2.
I remember seeing a video about this before this episode, and apparently both Gates and Marina had sword fighting experience from theater and stuff, and they were the only ones that did, and they're the only ones who didn't get to brandish the sword. The rest of them did. But just because they were the women, they were the damsels in distress, they didn't let them.
Yeah, I was going to mention this later, but there was a bit of a hoo-ha, like calling this, sort of sexist and stuff. And the thing is Cliff Bowl, he defends it by saying, oh, yes, but, this was the 12th century. We had to keep it period specific. We didn't want to mess with the timeline.
It's a Q.
It's like, this is a Q make-believe reality. There is no timeline to mess with. Plus, these are 24th century women. If you want to be true to a timeline, you should have them behaving true to their characters. It's just completely ridiculous.
For once, I didn't read up Memory Alpha Extra Asterisk on this episode, but I was just doing that one from memory. So, sorry, Tavi, I won't be ruining any more Mazza's facts. I don't think.
No, that's fine. I was just going to wait to the fight scenes to mention it. That was all.
Fair enough.
One question later on might be a little easier now.
Okay.
But anyway, right, moving on.
I am not a merry man.
I am not a merry man. I am Klingon. Yeah. Okay. So, Picard sneakily visits Vash in her quarters. He kind of waits for a crew member to pass before he actually goes to her door because he doesn't want to be seen going there. He tells her he's not embarrassed by her presence, although his actions leading up to getting to her room would suggest otherwise.
Could he not just beam in?
Go to Brian. Beam me to deck 4, crew quarters C. Yeah.
Actually, that brings me on to a second point, but I'll wait. She comes out with some equipment and says, I'm just going to go down to the planet with this equipment. How is she going to get the equipment there? She's going to walk in the transporter room and nothing to see here. This is my makeup.
I don't. Yeah. I don't know.
You reminded me of that. You reminded me of that first scene as well when she shows up in his room, and I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. He just accepts this chick is in his room, no security, and he says, "How did you get in here?" And she was like, "Oh, I came in through the window." I was like, "You better call security. You don't know if this is an alien." What?
I initially thought it was Q in disguise,
Really?
like messing with him. And then they started kissing, and I thought, oh, I hope that's not Q.
Well,
maybe.
Well, Q might have given her a little help. You know,
I don't know.
I don't think we ever see Q being able to change free will. You know, that's you know like the old genie stuff. You can't change free will. So, she might have like just tapped it and it might have just opened for her, but Q could have influenced the computer.
Yeah.
But was he there though? I felt like he only came until after she showed up. You know, he didn't
Q was
realize
always
that she
watching.
was there.
He's omniscient.
Such a perv.
Oh, he's watching.
Breathing heavily.
Okay, he tells her he's not embarrassed by her presence, but he finds a map of the ruins of the planet below, and he looks around her quarters and finds archaeology equipment. Yeah.
Is there a question about the archaeology equipment?
Nope.
Okay, good. So, Sean, I don't know if you knew that you were foreshadowing earlier when you said good tea, nice house. But yeah, the shovel and saw scanner were originally seen in the episode of The Survivors.
No, didn't mean that on purpose.
Used by the Uxbridges in their sort of gardeny type area.
Cool. They have an argument about the ethics of Vash's work of liberating relics. And it would appear that their lives are incompatible. So Picard leaves and Vash sits down. And we see Q pop his head in through the bulkhead in the background. Here's a picture of Q poking his head in. And this is a completely redone effect from the original that we would have seen back in like the 90s. And it looks so much better. You wouldn't believe it would look better from this one little clip.
Yeah, it's not a particularly good shot.
But if I show you the original, right? This is the original. I mean,
that's horrific.
That's the original. But they made him too small, and
your camera looks better, Sean. your clip-ins.
Yeah.
Well,
Sean's got better special effects than this.
But look, I can resize really easily. Look at this. I can be really, really teeny. Oh, sorry. Hold on. I'm in the wrong mode. Excuse me.
You're in the wrong...
I can be really, really teeny. Or absolutely huge.
Yeah. But they obviously added some shadow around where he popped in, so it actually looks like he's in the environment where they didn't add any shadow or anything before. And the line here is not like the same as here, so it just doesn't quite work. This does look a lot better because they add shadow around it. It looks like he's more in the room.
This is going to sound stupid, but his orientation isn't right. You can clearly see he's just standing and he leans. You know, when they were recording it, you know, if they actually put him on his side and made him lean, it would look more natural.
Yeah. Yep.
I think he's beholden to gravity, though.
No. Anyway, there you go.
I want to see where the rest of him is. Are his legs just like stuck out?
Floating out.
Space like this?
Yeah. Just wiggling around outside the ship.
Yeah. There is a shot where the Q stand on the outside of the ship, but it's horrifically badly scaled. You know, they're like, if it was real, they'd be 40 foot tall because, it's not good. That's a different episode.
Q visits Picard in bed and teases him for having a girlfriend, telling him he's witnessed their little spat. Q points out that Vash has found a vulnerability in him that he's been looking for years. If he'd have known it was that easy, he would initially appeared as female.
I'm always wondering. I'm sorry, he got sus Q points for that one. I'm like, what the hell would you have done?
Sus.
What is he meaning by that? Yeah. Like, I thought it was weird that Picard got in his bed and he's got the pillow spread out like there should be another person sleeping there. It's like a double bed thing, and his pillows are all on one side. And I'm like, do I do that if I don't have someone sleeping with me?
I
kind
do.
of spread through the middle.
I sleep exactly the same. Even when I go away in
Yeah, but
hotel rooms.
you're married.
I know.
You sleep on
I sleep in my
but,
natural place.
Yeah. But if I'm in a hotel or something, it's just me, I take the entire bed.
Yeah. Yeah, also, I just noticed he's got like a proper pillows and duvets. Like in past scenes where we've seen him get into bed, he's had this like really hard roll thing as a pillow and like silvery like sheets, you know, satiny, silvery, shiny sheets. So at least this is the first time we've seen a bed actually look like a bed. Like,
actually look comfortable,
look
like
comfy
something
bed.
you want to sleep on.
Yeah, this is not something you normally see in Star Trek.
And a proper duvet, not the shiny sheets from sickbay they normally use.
Yes, John DeLance does look quite pervy in this. Look at him looking at him asleep. Look. He just what Picard doesn't know is Q's often there most nights. Looking at him like this, like he's not known.
Oh, no.
Alexa says Q has a crush on Picard, and I think
he does. I think he does.
Yeah, I think he says it is it in this scene where he says, "Oh, if only I'd known, I should have appeared as a woman sooner." Imagine that, you know, if he'd appeared as a woman and he sort of seduced Picard all these years, and oh my god, and then like, oh, I don't know, that just seemed.
Well, the idea
somehow wrong if it was like him, you know, manipulating the situation. But yeah.
Well, the idea of gender to a species as advanced as his,
it would be,
a bit,
you know, nominal at best.
Unimportant.
Well, I mean, well, after he learned his lesson, because when he shows up in Voyager, he's very well aware that she's a girl and he's a fella. So
it's true.
He figures that out real quick. Be like, oh.
Chewie's like, is it playtime yet? No, not yet, dog. No, not yet. Not yet.
You know, John Delancey's son was played by Keegan Delancey.
Mm-hmm.
Real life son.
And
he
John
stopped acting immediately, but I don't know why. It was very abrupt. He says former actor. When you look him up, it's like this very, I don't do this anymore.
No, he had like that was
pretty
much his own role, his only role.
Mm.
And speaking of Chakotay, he hated his role. They never gave him any lines, but he was in theory like, you know, first officer and stuff, and he was barely in it. And every year he basically asked for more money than he thought they'd give them, so that they cut him out of his contract. And every year they kept giving him the money, so he just stayed for the whole series. But he never really wanted to be there.
Oh, wow.
John Delancey's middle name is Sherwood.
Is it really?
Oh, very good.
Ah, what a coincidence.
And he spent his whole life thinking his surname, I've mentioned this one before, thinking his surname was Delancey, and one of his grandfather or his granduncle was learning French and thinking about how sophisticated his French background was. And they went through all the records, and it was miswritten on the forms when they entered America. He's a Clancy.
Oh.
He's actually Irish he's from the west of Ireland. But he thought he was sophisticated French, but he's like, no, you're potato people from Connacht. Good luck.
Okay, so Q offers to turn her into a Clabian eel. Picard tells him once and for all he refuses any favors. Q says you will have to stand. Q says, would you stand idly by while she leads you to destruction? And Picard confirms yes. Q vanishes with an as you wish. So he's gone. The conference room, that's definitely not the observation lounge. Picard gives his speech, and one by one the crew start to turn into Robin Hood characters. And the best one out of that is Data. Here we go. I've got a Data picture for you.
Just going back to that last shot, this is obviously done as a two-shot, one with the audience and one with the stage. But where the stage doesn't exist, so he was obviously in a different space when, you know, and they shot it to make it look like it was the one room, but you can see from where the lights are, that's the wall. You know, there's no more to that set. It's not going any further.
I'm not sure about that. I think they take the wall away.
Back to the photo. Oh,
well, in theory, maybe they could, but I mean that goes onto the bridge then, so they'd have to cut out a whole lot of stuff.
I'm sorry. I'm about to say something a bit raunchy. You guys need to cover your ears if you don't like that, but I could put a whole titty in that mouth. Jesus. Woo!
What is this? Is this a turkey? Is that a turkey leg?
Yeah.
Well, no, a whole nip. There we go.
Yeah, that's about
You can
right.
get the nip
I
in
know
there.
in America they have these medieval fairs, and like getting a big turkey leg is kind of a thing. But we wouldn't have had turkeys in the UK or indeed Ireland back in the 12th century. They just wouldn't have been around. So, bit anachronistic, but there you go.
Dan says
Maybe
that
goose? Did they have goose back then?
maybe.
What had goose are native, but turkeys come from Well, I think they came to this part of the world via Turkey. So
anyway, Space Chat says Michael Pillar's son was instrumental in Q's first appearance on Voyager, and John Delancey was instrumental in his own son appearing in the last Q episode in Voyager.
Didn't know any of that.
No.
Cool.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, it's my favourite scene of them turning into characters of Robin Hood with Data here as Friar Tuck. And he goes to object, and he's got like a turkey in his hand.
And within Picard's speech, he's talking about the archaeological excavations and such from Tegus 3, of which there were 947, of which 74 were believed to have revealed important findings. So there's a couple of 47 and reverse 47.
47s.
There was also a 7.4 on the Picard's laptop earlier. Did you get a chance to say it?
Quite a few. Yeah, no, you mentioned that. That was cool.
Oh, I did mention it. Excuse me.
Don't go mentioning things twice, Sean. we'll never end.
Sorry, don't go.
They're saying the same things twice, or the show will never end.
Great question.
Sorry, what is it I shouldn't do?
Oh,
there we go.
Oh, God. Yes, question 3 then, the answer. What merry man does Worf turn into? Was it Little John, Will Scarlet, Alan Dale, Maid Marian? Hopefully we had a lot of B's, Will Scarlet. Did anybody get it wrong?
B.
Once again, I'm covered in B's. And the bonus point for the 2 crew members that didn't get any named characters, it was Beverly and Troy. Dr. Beverly Crusher and Deanna Troy.
How many bonus points do you get for that?
10.
And it wasn't the first to the buzzer. It was and if somebody got like if they said Beverly and Geordie, they get half points.
5. Yeah.
Okey
yeah.
dokey.
And had I thought better about the question, the merry men, not the merry people or the merry women, and also Maid Marian was Vash, so yeah, that should have been obvious had I actually thought about the question, but I didn't.
Dope. Okay. Right. So moving on to Act 3. Picture. They get acquainted with their new characters. Now they've appeared in Sherwood Forest. Who is which character then? Run through them. What have we got here? We got Worf at the back as Will Scarlet. Got Riker, Little John. Data, your Data Tabby. What is he?
Friar Tuck, I think.
Friar Tuck.
Oh, I would get so religious. in a minute.
And Geordie. Who's Geordie? Geordie's
Alan Adale.
When you say religious, you mean like the song "Like a Prayer" by Madonna, kind of religious.
If it's as dirty as I think I remember, yes.
Yeah, basically.
I can't. That used to be one of my favorite songs. And now
she gets it on with Black Jesus, and
it's
controversial in its time.
The real Jesus is like Middle Eastern.
No. The statue comes alive and it's an African guy, and yeah, that was controversial in its time because they were like, "How dare he not be white?" And then the other thing was she obviously gets it on with him.
I didn't realize what the whole song was about, and I always used to sing it quite loud in my car and threaten my parents and stuff. And now I can't sing it anymore.
I wouldn't be doing that.
No. I was so naive as a child. Or I was so naive up until about 2 years ago when I found out what it was about. Anyway.
Wait till you find out what Turning Japanese is about.
Oh yeah, that's Q for sure.
Okay, so yes, that's their new characters. That's who they are. Worf. Then we get the. Why is that not loading? We get the immortal line from Worf. It's time for you to put your thing up, Sean. It's your time to shine.
Yes. Oh, okay. Hold on. Yeah. There we go.
I don't know why Trek code takes so long to load these.
That's the wrong one.
That's the wrong one, Sean. That's the wrong one.
Sorry, I pressed the wrong thing. There we go. I protest. I am not a merry man.
Oh yeah, I made the wrong. Do it again, Sean. Do it again.
There. I protest. I am not a merry man.
There you go. Thank you very much. Yes.
Oh,
probably the best line in the episode. And oh no, wrong place. Doing it. I'm pushing all the wrong buttons now. Now we get Sergei of Gisborne turns up. He arrives on horseback with some archers. Worf engages him, but they lose and they flee into the woods.
Yeah, and as we all know, if you get archers involved, it'll only last 4 seasons and not be appreciated as much as the rest of the series.
Hang on, I've got to give it one of those for that. There you go. You can't hear it.
I got it too slow. But I appreciate
Cool,
it.
because I could hear the sound effects when I was watching in on YouTube. It was quite cool. I could enjoy it.
Okay, I did think that they lost.
Way to ruin a franchise, Bakula.
Oh my! I did think they lost too easy to this guy. I mean, how could Worf not? I mean, I don't know.
Well, every time you see Worf in a fight, he easily just gets turned over and over again.
I know.
I do love how he's got a bad attitude.
Yeah. Michael Dorn complained about it and was like, sorry, Tavi. Michael Dorn complained about it. It's like, I get beaten up in every episode. He goes, but we have to show that the enemy is really strong. And then like, well, it's not really showing it's really strong if I get beaten up in every episode.
Yeah.
No. I thought it was really funny how it was in one scene where he's like, I'm not a merry man. And the second he was allowed to, that there was a fight, he's like, ha ha! I was like, he's merry now.
Yeah.
I protest. I am not a merry man.
They regroup in the forest, and then they get a visit from the Sheriff of Nottingham, aka Q. Q tells them that Sergei of Gisborne is going to chop off Marion's head at noon tomorrow. So it's up to Picard to either sit by and do nothing for the person he cares nothing about. Q compares the value of her life to one of his crew. Picard points out that he would protect any life.
So these scenes in the forest here were shot in Descanso Gardens, northeast of Los Angeles, suburb Glendale.
Nice.
The Japanese gardens busy that day.
But they did actually quite a few of the close-up shots of the actors were actually done later on in the studio, whereas a lot of the
wider shots.
It'd be interesting. I wasn't specifically doing it, but it'd be interesting to sort of watch it with a lens of, I wonder if this is studio real, to see if you can kind of see the difference in the transition. But I wasn't watching closely enough to really pay attention to that.
Back in the day, they couldn't edit things on the fly. They just record, they taped them or filmed them, and they had to go back and develop the footage and then check it the next day, cut it together. Yeah, it makes sense. Just the close-up shots. They just do it wide, catch everything, and then do the close-up shots when they're not in location, when it's not expensive.
It sounds like Subspace Chaz having as much luck with his Alexa as the Enterprise crew have with the Enterprise computer. Okay, so
Alexa, play Esposito.
Yeah, no, shush.
Someone hates me.
Shush, stop that, Sean. Q thinks Worf would make a great throw rug at Nottingham Castle, and Worf growls at him. Unfortunately, I couldn't get a picture of him actually with a snarling face because he goes, "Urgh." Yeah, but yeah. Q has given this fantasy a life of its own, so he's got no sway over the outcome, and their lives could very well be in jeopardy. So, question 4. In the castle, Marian's lady-in-waiting thinks she has some sort of brain sickness. Thinks Vash has some sort of brain sickness and is prescribing what? So in the castle, Marian's lady-in-waiting thinks Vash has some sort of brain sickness and prescribes what? A. Leeches. B. Bloodletting without leeches. C. A stiff gin and tonic. Or D. Smelling salts. So what does Marian's lady-in-waiting prescribe Vash? Leeches, bloodletting without the leeches, a stiff gin and tonic, or smelling salts?
And that, of course, went on to inspire the song Leeches. Another one. Millions of leeches.
Leeches for me. We'll give you that a...
I haven't set off Tavi yet. I have to work harder. Sorry.
Yeah.
You set me off earlier.
You did a good job at the beginning.
I had my drink before the show, so I'm a little bit tipsy, and I'm trying not to be too vulgar. She's
sobered up now. Yeah.
I love this shot. It's like Vash is just blowing him away. Like...
Yeah. So Guy arrives, as we can see. She initially dismisses him. He asks her to marry him, and she gives him a good slap. When he mentions the fact that he's now going to execute her by chopping off her head, she becomes more friendly, and they sit down for a little chat. Come on, load picture. Geordie seems happy in his new life. He's sat on a rock there, happily strumming his mandolin. And
I love the visual gag. It's brilliant.
Really loving the vibes of the place, I think. But yeah, he looks really happy. But then Worf stands up, walks over, smashes the mandolin on a tree, and hands it back to him and apologizes.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Apparently, that was like a.
I will apologize for this at a later time. Sorry, Mazza.
A National Lampoon scene, where what's he called?
Yeah, Buscemi, Steve Buscemi.
Yeah, he smashes somebody's guitar
Animal
and
House.
goes, "Oh, sorry." Oh, Animal House. That's the one. Yeah.
Yeah. I hadn't made the connection until you said it, but it's a great bit of slapstick.
Then we see Troy practicing her archery skills on a tree. Oh, there's another picture of Worf smashing the mandolin and then handing it back to Geordie. Here we see Troy practicing archery by shooting arrows at a tree, but unfortunately she still needs a bit of work because she hits Friar Tuck, aka Dana, straight in the chest.
She's hitting it at 12 o'clock and it somehow goes to 10 o'clock. No way. Just doesn't happen.
And I know they were complaining about the last scene, if she can't do that, maybe they don't want to give her a sword.
Maybe that's the reason. Maybe that's it.
They're like, all right, everybody try out the bow. Whoever goes way off, be like, nah.
It's like,
I'm pretty sure there's a red dwarf scene. I'm pretty sure there's a red dwarf scene where like someone's shooting arrows or something, and it hits Crichton in the head or something. I'm pretty sure. It seemed to me the pacing of it, and that just seemed like a red dwarf scene.
Yeah. Now you're saying that does.
Well, there is that level of comicalness in this episode. They do get a bit silly, so I suppose it's leaning in that direction.
Yeah.
And when I first saw
fabulous
shot
of his schnoz. Sorry, his nose.
When I first saw Data's Friar Attack, I thought, oh, that's a bit weird. Like his ball cap isn't placed properly. And then, of course, I realised that the lines in his head are from where he's got his skull caps that open up with the control sections in them, right?
Yeah, you couldn't.
So I thought, that's actually quite a nice touch.
You couldn't really see it in standard definition, but it's highlighted more, and now you can see the Blu-ray in HD.
I had the exact same thought watching it this morning. Yeah, I was like, absolutely. Yeah, they definitely. And I think it leads back to the models and the Soong, the set dressing they did on the Soong labs and stuff, and they had the prototypes, and they all had kind of similar hemispheres or cutouts, whatever you want to call them.
When I was looking at the Soong episodes, I only saw the cutout of Laura's behind. How could you guys have noticed anything else?
I see you, baby.
Shaking that ass. That was a tight ass.
Subspace Chat says Red Dwarf Western episode. Yes, I think you could be right. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
Monty, you've got to get that photo of the prototypes of the lore pieces where his ass panel is there. Just his.
Well,
Tavi, you may need to watch through Red Dwarf. It's
yeah.
been on telly for about 20 years and there's about 35 episodes, so might take you a while. But yeah, it's well worth a watch.
Yeah.
Okay, I might have to take a look.
Take a look at it. Okay, Picard decides that he's going to the castle alone to rescue Vash, as he doesn't want any of the crew involved. Riker tries to protest, but it doesn't do any good. He's going to do it by himself. And that's the end of Act 3. But question 4...
Picard looks cute with a little goatee.
He does, doesn't he? He looks maybe a little old for Robin Hood, but he does look cute with a goatee. Question 4 answers then. What has made Marianne's lady-in-waiting prescribe her for her brain sickness, leeches, bloodletting, stiff gin, or smelling salts?
Everybody answered A.
I did say tonight's questions were going to be on the easy side.
Yeah, but out of
When
the
you
5
said-
players, out of the 8 players, we only have 5 in the lead now.
Oh, right. We're getting there then. We're
Plum and Andrew didn't answer the bonus question, and Sean only got it half right. So
we're
those three
whittling
are
them
probably
down.
behind by 5 or 10 points. Everybody else is currently on 210.
Cool. Was there anything else in Act 3 that we didn't?
A whole bunch of stuff, to be fair.
Anything interesting?
The guy who plays what's he called?
Sir Guy of Gisborne?
Sir Guy of Gisborne.
Oh, where is he?
He
That guy.
provided the voice for the Emperor in episode 5 of Star Wars. And there aren't that many people that cross over from Star Wars and Star Trek, but I think his performance was eventually replaced with Ian McDermott, who did the other sort of voices, but and also him and Patrick Stewart. So this guy Clive Revel and Patrick Stewart were both in Robin Hood Men in Tights, which is kind of ironic. Although this guy I think was uncredited, he just played a fire marshal, and Patrick Stewart played King Richard.
Funnily enough, you mentioned that talking about Star Wars and Star Trek crossovers, and Brent Spiner was in Star Wars Rebels, but that wasn't what I was going to mention. Next week's episode has a guest star called Spencer Garrett, who voiced Darth Revan, who was the main enemy in Knights of the Old Republic, and is kind of partially canon because his name is mentioned in Star Wars Episode 9.
Yeah.
Cool.
There's a deep dive.
Good factoid for next week then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll
I
get-
may
you'll
have
get to
blown
say it again.
Have to repeat it, but
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, we talked about National Lampoon.
Chat debating what Star Wars is.
What
it's
Star
not-
Wars is?
Yeah, it's a
We
long
don't know
time
what it
ago
is.
in a galaxy far, far away.
You
You never heard of it?
Yeah. Anyway, I think that's kind of it for the moment.
Yeah. So we move into Act 4. Q's surprised that Marion is no longer a prisoner, but actually Guy's wife-to-be. He's like, wow, I didn't see that happening. Q wagers this is all a scheme of Robin Hood's, but Vash insists that's lies. Her and Robin were a long time ago, and anyway, he bewitched her with magic. Guy suckered in, hook, line, sinker, rod, and copy of Angular Times. Q suggests maybe it's Sir Guy that's being bewitched, but Guy threatens Q's head on a block if he carries on like that.
Backsass.
Sean's completely... I thought you completely transformed
Sorry.
into the Defiant.
Sorry, still getting used to OBS. There's a steep learning curve when you start using it, which I'm sure you know.
I know OBS well.
Yeah, well, I only started using it this week, so you'll have to forgive me. I'm making mistakes.
So, Sir Guy has a guard take her back to her room, but she wants to stay, and he replies, "Of course you do, my child." And I always think that's really creepy when a guy refers to the girl he
Love
wants to
interest
marry,
as
the
a
love
child.
interest, as my child. It's like, no. Don't do that.
It's only not creepy when Kai Wynn does it.
Yeah, well, it's not love interest, is it? She just says it because she wants everybody to feel inferior.
Yeah.
Ew.
Right.
Woo, I'm on top of the world.
He's riding the Defiant.
You look
Let's-
like
That
Q
does not
popping
sound
your
right.
upper parts through the middle of a ship.
There is a way to do that with layers where I could actually just pop through it, but that requires more prep than I have done. So
Of
'Cause
things,
I'd have to
of-
cut the image in half and have one image on top and one image below, and then.
we don't care, Sean. As,
No, okay.
Of things I thought I wouldn't say today is Sean riding the Defiant. It's I wouldn't have put money on that this morning. But there you go. It happened.
Don't ride Brent Spino.
No,
Abby will get
please don't.
upset.
No, gets banned.
Brent Spiner did play a droid in Star Wars Rebels.
All right, so all the time this conversation's happening, Robin Hood was hiding in the background. Right, but
But you meant our conversation then.
Question 5. I'm moving on. Question 5. How many episodes of Star Trek The Next Generation does Q appear? How many episodes of Star Trek The Next Generation does Q appear? Counting the double part episodes as 1. So, Encounter of Farpoints Part 1 and 2, that counts as 1 episode. So, counting the double episodes as 1, how many episodes of TNG does Q appear? Is it A, 6, B, 7, C, 8, or D, 9? There you go. That's going to take some working out
That's
for
going
you.
to be the one that kicks my ass. I'm going to start yelling.
And there's a bonus point on this one. There's a 10 bonus points. Of those, how many episodes don't have the word Q in the title? So, for example, again, Encounter at Farpoint is a Q episode, but doesn't have a Q in the title, like this episode, Qpid. So, how many Q episodes don't have Q in the title? Yeah, it's going to be, yeah. Good luck to you. I thought I'd throw one difficult one in there.
Oh, it's hard. It's between 2. I'm gonna have to guess, I think.
Oh no! Sorry, what am I saying?
You can't change your mind now, Sean. You've
I mean,
submitted.
you literally said, yeah, so Counter of Farpoint 1 and 2, and you go, so how many episodes? So it's clearly more than 0, which is what I wrote.
Can you guys put up the answers while I'm trying to do something?
Oh, what do you want? A, B, C, and D? You want?
Yeah. Because
There you go. Oh, that didn't really.
thank you.
That didn't really work too well, but anyway, you get the idea.
Oh, I'm gonna change my mind.
Okay, well, whilst the answers are coming in, I'll just continue on with the act. We got Picard breaks into Vash's room through the window as a reverse of what we saw earlier in Picard's quarters, where Vash said she'd broken in through the window to get into his room. He's now breaking in the window to get into her room. And that made me think, about this episode, how in real life, they're kind of reversed, Vash, in real life, Vash is Robin Hood. She's liberating the artifacts and giving them to the people that want the artifacts. She's the robber, right? And Picard's held up in Castle Enterprise, a stickler to the tradition and the routine. And she's there at the Enterprise trying to rescue him from the drudgery of Captain's life. So in real life, she's Robin Hood and he's Maid Marian. And she said she was coming through the window. And here, he's coming through the window and all the roles have been reversed. So I thought that was quite a clever take on that. Anyway.
And another thing that was sort of similar-ish to that, but they point out how she's quite similar to Q in many ways. She's devious, she's this, that, and the other. And, again, that whole sort of slight, love-hate thing between Picard and Q is like actually Picard kind of needs Q. he seeks out people like Vash because his life is a bit boring and he wants that bit of spice of excitement. He wants somebody who's not within his chain of command who can challenge him and stuff like that, and Vash is very similar to Q. So actually, if Q was in female form, he probably might have gone for that.
Yeah, so it's good also to see Captain Picard there trying to crawl up the side of the castle and get through making a hash of getting through the window.
You do also see he briefly tries to date one of his heads of science or whatever. One episode, I forget the name of it. And there's a mission where he has to send her on a mission where she could die, and he realizes conflict of interest. How there weren't rules against it in the first place, I don't know, but he realizes, I can't really do that. It doesn't work, and he more or less decides his job is more important than anything else. Which is later followed up in Generations, where he gets incredibly upset when his brother and his nephew die, because he basically felt like it was okay for him not to have a family because his brother was carrying on the family for him, and then it just died because they died.
Subspace Chat says lessons.
Lessons, thank you.
Yeah, it's the one.
Dan the man.
Yep.
Coming to the rescue.
He presents himself as Robin Hood. Here he is, and she's like, "Of course you're Robin Hood." She's surprised that he came alone and didn't bring the crew because she doesn't think they're going to be able to escape. So she decides it's too risky to go with him. So he decides to pick her up and take her anyway. And just then, Sir Guy of Gisborne and his guards turn up. Vash, though, instead of running with Picard, grabs Picard's sword and pulls his own sword on him and hands Picard over to Guy as a wedding gift. And Picard's like, "That's just great." Nice.
Cowbag.
Yeah. Q congratulates the guy on his capture, but Sagai tells him actually it was all Marion's work. She deserves the credit. And Q's like, curiouser and curiouser. Vash writes a letter to the Enterprise crew asking for help and tries to ask her maid to deliver it, but the maid ain't happy about it. Going out in the dark to their woods. She didn't really want any part of it.
Tavia, stand corrected. She is left-handed. Sorry.
Yeah, she's writing with her left hand, like with a quill.
Didn't cop it. Fair play to you.
I was thinking of you when I actually saw it. I'm like, oh, she's a lefty. Sean's going to see that.
Yeah. Her and Brent could have some left-handed kids together and you would get mad.
Their kissing scenes should work well then.
I was having a good night tonight.
Their kissing scenes would be more natural, wouldn't they? Because they'd both be going to the left.
I'm getting my brain is destroyed right now because I'm counting episodes and then I'm trying to remember what was in those episodes.
Are you still working on the question, right? Oh, bless.
Yes. And then I'm like, what was the title of that one?
Oh, yes.
Dang it.
Love it.
There's one of them, I can't remember the title of it. And I'm like, oh! Dang it.
Right.
You can't give give me a minute. Just give me a minute. Don't. Okay. Hold on.
That's good. Okay. Q enters and tells her he's surprised how ruthless she is. He lets her know that he's Q, and she's like, "Oh, so you're Q," when he says Jean-Luc. And then he quickly finds the letter. He believes she's worth further study, but calls the guards in anyway. And that's the end of Act 4.
Can I just say I'm glad we're not rootless tonight? How are you, Ruth?
What's that?
I was trying to catch Tavi off guard. Didn't happen. I said we're not ruthless tonight.
Oh.
Ruthless here.
Ruthless.
We got Tavi.
Oh, ruthless. Hang on.
There we go. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
I think that deserves a tumbleweed.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, so question 5 then. How many episodes?
No! Okay, hold on.
Have you got your answer in? Okay.
I just sent it. Hold on.
Oh, well done.
Oh my God.
Oh, that was close.
Plenty of time to look it up.
That was close.
See, Ruth got us straight away. The rest of you are like, what?
Okay. How many episodes then did Q appear? Was it 6, 7, 8, or 9, A, B, C, or D? And I can tell you the answer is C. So well done.
Okay.
Well done, all those people that said C. It was
That was
8.
the guess part.
And the bonus question for another 10 points. How many of those did not contain the word Q? And the answer is 3. So anybody that said C3, you were correct. So to go through them, you have Encounter at Farpoint, Hide in Q, Q Who, Deja Q, Qpid, True Q, Tapestry, and All Good Things. So that's your 8, with Encounter of Farpoint, Tapestry, and All Good Things being your Q-less Q episodes. There we go.
So Dan and Tavi are now in the lead.
Oh,
I don't know.
Oh no! I thought everyone got it wrong.
I don't know if you ever saw the Chaos on the Bridge. I think it's Chaos on the Bridge documentary. But John Delancey was at a convention and he had a really bad flu, and he was drinking from a glass of water, and like one of the hosts was like, how he was doing a charity auction, and how much for the Q virus? And it got up to like $1,000, because he'd been drinking from a glass. And he'd had it was like, no, this man is really sick. And the guy literally won the auction, came up and drank the water straight down. And it's like, I've got the Q virus, yeah.
That is disgusting.
oh
Well,
dear.
I think it's Chaos on the Bridge is the documentary I saw it in, but I definitely saw that story being told, and by multiple people, including John Delancey.
There's a good documentary. I do like the Chaos on the Bridge documentary. It's good.
Yeah, it's very good.
It's a real good sort of backseat. You realise how bad it started off. And, think about it. Tavikin says that's disgusting, but if you replace the person with Brent Spiner,
Yeah, you'd be
That's
laughing at
different.
it.
that's different. That is completely different.
It's different.
It's just completely different.
I forgot to say earlier, but when Vash sort of stumbles over her dress in the sort of bit where she's there with the, the scene with the leeches, apparently that was not sort of pre-planned, but they decided to sort of keep it because they thought, it's probably true that she wouldn't be used to wearing long dress. And also apparently Patrick Stewart grew up near Sherwood Forest, is that right?
Yeah, he's
Probably.
in West Riding in Yorkshire, yeah. So he would have been close enough to it.
Yeah. Can't remember, Mirrorfield or something. I can't remember. What it is in
And
the
despite his name being Patrick, as far as I can tell, no Irish connection whatsoever. They just like the name, I guess.
Oh yeah, Mirrorfield, 2 miles from where? 2 miles from the reputed site of Robin Hood's final resting place.
Oh, that
Around
close.
Kirklees
Okay.
Hall.
I've been to Sherwood Forest with G Star. We've been to Sherwood Forest.
Oh.
Right. Act 5. They were into the final act, guys. We're on the homeward straight. In the morning, Vash and Picard are heading to their execution, blaming each other on the way. Before it gets underway, Q asks Picard if she was worth it. And Picard's just like, get on with it, which annoys Vash because she's like, are you saying I'm not worth it? He tries.
I wondered. Sorry, go on.
He tries to convince Q to let her go because it's just him that he's interested in. But Q doesn't have any of it. And whilst he's talking, we see some bystanders wearing red start to unhood themselves. And it's the Enterprise crew in the crowd.
Yay!
They're here to rescue them. Riker asks Data for a distraction, so he pulls out a doohickey from his arm and throws it in a brazier. It causes a small explosion that's enough to allow the crew to pounce. But question...
It most likely is Data because he's using his left hand.
He is using his left hand.
Or Brent, should I say.
A fight breaks out. So question 6. A fight breaks out. But what weapons do Troy and Crusher use? Is it A, swords? We don't think so. Bear in the conversation.
If anyone's been watching, probably not.
B, bows and arrows. C, daggers.
Definitely.
Or D, plant pots and vases. So what do they use as their mighty weapons? Swords, bows and arrows, daggers, or plant pots and vases? A, B, C, or D?
So it's
Would've been
good that
fun
Picard's...
to have, Zelda music from the video game playing in the background.
It's good that Picard's skills in fencing, which were established in a previous episode, hold him in good stead in this. So, unlike other people being thrust into such a place with sword play, Picard's actually quite well equipped to deal with the situation.
Yes.
Well, yeah, purportedly French, and in Picard we see his chateau and the various different in the catacombs, all the things he has. He does have knives or not knives, swords and all that. So it all ties together nicely.
We see Geordie have a good little sword fight with a guy and he wins. We see Worf take on two people at once with swords.
That's the thing about Klingons. They have two organs. They have backup ones, so that's possible.
Yeah. Anyway.
And OnlyFans with Klingon stuff would just be.
Well, in Discovery, I don't know if you know this, but there's a guy taking a whiz against a wall, and there's two streams.
Oh no.
There's literally two streams coming out. So. When they say they have backup organs for every organ, they meant it.
Picard beats the guy, stabs him through the stomach, and he falls off the tower. And Picard enters the tower to rescue the maiden. And here we see him. There you go. He gets his rewards. But it doesn't last long because Q arrives and congratulates them, telling Picard his debt is paid. And hopefully now he has learnt that love will make him weak and bring out the worst in him. Vash, though, disagrees and thinks that he's brought out the best in Picard, his nobleness, bravery, self-sacrifice and tenderness. Q agrees to end the charade and return them all to the Not Observation Lounge. Later on, in the ready room, Vash appears, much to Picard's immediate relief. She says, "You have to admit the experience showed you still care." Then Q arrives as Vash's new partner. Picard is surprised and lists off all Q's negative traits, but he might as well have been describing Vash as well, which Vash points out to him.
I'm just going to say on that shot, you can see that couch, they never ever did this, but that couch can actually fold out into a bed, and it's quite obvious from that shot that it's possible.
Yeah.
So just obviously there will be a situation or a theoretical situation where Picard wouldn't be able to go as far as his quarters and just needed to come in, so that's why it's like that.
Yep, he can just sleep right there.
I have a major gripe for this episode, but I'll do it for the rating.
Okay, well,
look at that mullet.
We're nearly at the end. Q says they're going to have fun. They're going to go off and see things no humans ever seen. Picard tells Q as payment to him, he will guarantee her safety, and Q agrees not to harm a hair on her head.
I really like the tie-in here where they mention it, because in Discovery, they've got a scene where they're like, when they're trying to figure out something that's going on, and they're like, we haven't heard for the Q in so ever long. And then there was like a lot of conversation, like, did the Q all die or whatever? Did they go? And I was like, well, the Q, if they're intergalactic, they can just go to another galaxy because they've screwed up this one, with all the time changes and the damage and space. I was like, they could just sashay over to another galaxy and just be like, peace out.
Well, it is hinted, because Quinn does say in the episode, Quinn, actually, I think it's just called, in Voyager,
yeah,
that the Q do have limits, and then Tuvok goes, such as, and then he's like, oh, you're always looking for the tactical advantage. Basically, he kind of hints that their powers are overstated, that there are limits. I mean, Guinan can just do cat claws and stop the Q, so they're not as powerful as they appear to be. There's a certain amount of parlor tricks going on. I mean, they are powerful, but they're not omnipotent the way they pretend to be. And actually, much like the episode Who Watches the Watchers, any advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic.
Yes.
So... sorry, go on, Monty.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, is there a scene where we see Picard slept on the couch? We do see him sleeping on the couch as a couch, but we never see the couch sort of stretched out as a bed.
No, but I remember reading in
Well, he can do.
I don't remember where I read it, but it actually does pull out into
It
a
does,
couch.
yeah. So they kiss one last time, and as they're about to kiss, Q comes back and looks to ogle, but he claims he's just coming back to collect his hat, which he dons and disappears again. And they both kiss, and then she disappears with a Q flash as well.
You punched me. Picard never punched me.
Yeah. And that's it. That's the end of the episode. Done.
Yes.
Whoop, whoop. Anything on the final act there?
And Alexa
Maz?
says it's funny when Guinan stabs Q in the hand with a fork. She's not afraid of him. Yeah, that is quite funny.
That's it. Yeah.
She did not wait on that at all. You're what? Immediately.
Yeah.
I need to get deeper into the rewatch of TNG and rewatch it all again. But when he's traveling DS9, Vash is still with him. Am I right?
Correct. Yeah, when he appears, he leaves Vash on Deep Space Nine.
But there's another 3 or 4 appearances in Q where she's not with him. So what happened in the interim? It's kind of like, okay. Yeah,
they have their adventures, and then he drops her off at Deep Space Nine. And I think there's some sort of love triangle in it between her, Julian Bashir, Quark, and
you got into a pentagon here.
I don't know, yeah, and I think Quark wins, doesn't he? But yeah,
I gotta watch that episode.
In terms of last trivs, whilst in doing all that fight scenes, Jonathan Frakes was injured because his staff, apparently one of the prop swords, broke through it, and it kind of went and cut near his eye, and he was taken to hospital, and he still had his Robin Hood clothes on, but he was like, "I'll go into hospital in LA dressed up in something random." They don't bat an eyelid. It's just normal to them.
There was a time where there was an earthquake in LA, and Andrew Robinson shot home to check on his family because all the phones got cut out, and he was in his full Cardassian makeup. Andrew Robinson is Garrick, and apparently all the lights didn't work because all the power went out, so the phones didn't work and the traffic lights didn't work, and he just drove straight through every junction because everyone who saw the Cardassian just went, "Oh, we'll just leave him go." And he was able to just shoot
mess
home.
with the Cardassians.
They're just like, what the hell is that? And he just pushed all the way through traffic and got home straight away.
Ruth comes up with a good point.
It happens.
We don't see Q necessarily in chronological order, because he can be anywhere at any time. We don't know if we're seeing a later Q or an earlier Q, or he doesn't necessarily go in the same order as he appears in the series.
He's the River Song of Star Trek. Very possible.
That's right. Yeah, could be.
And Lan Noonien Sung actually gave the actress who played Lan Noonien Sung in Discovery gave River Song her name in Doctor Who.
Yeah. Also, I don't know if you noticed the small goof, but when Data took the thing out of his arm and threw it into that fire, it kind of bounced a bit and dropped out through the bottom, so it completely fell out through one of the gaps in the metal railings, and then it went poof, as if it was still in the.
Did we see?
In the fire.
Did I see that? Oh, I didn't actually show the picture. Yeah.
It kind of you see it plop right out the bottom through a hole.
Oh no.
I mean, there weren't many kind of goofs in this, a couple of minor continuity things and some obvious sort of stunt doubles, but no biggies. That was probably the main one, really.
Okay, then going back to the last question.
And relating to the question, which was, even if they were using pots as their deadly weapon, if you're going to smash somebody over the head with a metal helmet on, how is that going to knock somebody out? You're literally hitting them on the only part of their body that's protected. It makes them look not only weak, but stupid. But that was typical of the Star Trek writers at the time and their treatment of the female characters.
If you're wearing a metal helmet and you get a good bang, it's going to really mess with your ears and disorientate you. I don't think it'll knock you out, but you'll certainly be, whacked. You'll be disorientated. You won't know where you are. If you're in a big metal helmet, you get a hit with a hammer, it's gonna go dong like you're inside of a bell.
Yeah.
It'll
Maybe
really mess
a
with your
hammer,
head.
but not a clay pot, I don't think.
No, it's a bit of a trope.
Yeah, I've only had a helmet on. That was so long ago, but I don't remember anything hitting my head.
Anyway, so yes.
Sound.
Question 6. What did Troy and Crusher use as their weapons? Was it sword, bows and arrows, daggers, or pots and vases? Well, it was pots and vases.
Task me. tasks me, and I shall have him.
And did Sean answer that one?
I'm out of it anyway.
Sean's
Did
given
I-
up. He's
Oh,
surrendered.
Sean's
I,
given
I,
up.
I,
Still
I, I,
gotta
meant,
give up.
I meant to, but anyway, look, moment's gone. I wasn't going to win anyway.
Have we got a draw?
We do have a draw between Tavi and Dan. So yeah, there's going to have to be some kind of a tie-breakery type scenario.
Or should
Don't you dare!
Or should
you give them a
or
point
should I
each.
just give them a point each?
You could do that.
Yeah, I'm feeling generous tonight. I'll just
Because
give
it
you.
would be an automatic.
I'll give you-
I can't take.
I need
Dan down
happiness.
in a
I
dome.
can't. Honestly, we got to shut the stream off. We got to talk, and I'll never hear the end of it. So I don't want that. No, and so basically, I'm a wimp.
I will give a compliment. Dan, you called it. So you're getting it.
Yeah, well done, Dan.
Dan!
Alexa says, do they have to duel now? I think that would be good. Yeah.
A duel.
Make you do a sword fight.
Oh, I haven't got a figure. I gotta find a bat. Hang on a minute.
Is this going to be a lucky
Yeah,
dip?
we're all like
Yeah.
that post-COVID. Don't worry about it.
It's gonna be a lucky dip.
Lucky dip. figure
Also,
time.
I've put the old characters back in here, so I don't know which ones I've done and which ones I haven't done.
And separate. You need a separate bag.
I know.
And should we put in chat who we think it is?
Should
I
we
bet
all just stay out of it and let Tavi and Dan put in the chat who they think it is?
Right, here we go.
No, they're both getting a point. This
They're
is
all
not
getting a point,
tiebreaker.
Which
Okay.
character is this?
Oh, you've used that one already. That's
Yeah, thank you.
I haven't.
No, you haven't.
that-
Oh, is it Data then?
No, it's,
No, that's the one he did before was
Spock.
Data. I think,
yeah,
yeah.
Spock dressed up as a
Let's see, I think
Romulan, but
that's-
Oh,
that
it's
was
Spock
Data
then,
dressed up as
okay.
Romulan. But I think that
Hold
was
on,
actually
I'll just get out the last one so you can see the difference. There you go.
See this Spock
Okay.
Picard, right?
See the almost non-existent difference.
This was Data
dressed up as a Romulan.
dressed up as a Romulan. So who
Does
is
that mean
that?
that's Picard dressed up as a Romulan?
Yeah, it's either Spock or Mr. Pickard, but I don't know which one.
Yeah, you
It's
can't really tell.
sorry, it's a bit
It
blurry.
looks like Spock. I reckon it's Spock.
It does look like Spock.
The brown one. How do I do it? Oh, there we go. It's actually Picard.
Pickard.
It's Picard.
Picard. I didn't get to write anything.
Mr. Pickard.
There you go. Mr. Picard.
Thank you, Dan. Lots of love, Dan. Thank you.
Alexa says, Sarek. No, unfortunately, this is Picard from Unification.
However,
Reunification.
Yeah. Jean Luc Picard.
Pickard. Jean-Luc Pickard. Oh, that's from yeah, of course it's from what's it
Times
called?
Arrow.
Times Arrow. Yeah.
Part
Yeah.
2.
Right, we need the scoreboard. Right, if everyone in chat, if you want to start thinking, how would
Also-
you score this episode out of 10? From 0 to 10, what would you give this episode?
Also, can I say another horrifically bad Irish accent? Just hire an Irish person. Like,
What are we talking about?
Mr. Pickard.
oh.
Oh no, Mr. Pickard! It's like, yeah, just no. You're not doing it right.
So that's one for Tavikins. Oh, that's interesting.
In terms of reception, so Cliff Bowl thought it was great. He said it had everything as a director. It had Q, it had, going back in time, sword fighting, boisterous characters. He loved it. Patrick Stewart said it gave them as a group the most fun of any other episode. They got to dress up. And some of the one-liners and things were really good. He liked the romantic, sexy side of it too. And Marina Sirtis said, anytime a woman sees a man in tights, all bets are off. We had such a blast doing this. And the one-liners from Mokal Dawn were brilliant. So yeah, from their perspective, everybody loved it. I have seen in on sort of our Facebook messages and general kind of chat about this episode. If you just sort of look at general opinions online, it gets pretty universally panned actually. I quite enjoy it, so I was a bit surprised. I mean, I can see everybody says it's really corny and things like that, but Yeah, I mean, I personally quite enjoyed it, but yeah,
Well,
lots of other people hate
the
it.
most memorable part of this episode is, I should have really lined this up, but I didn't. Or I
Fun
protest.
fact,
I am
Monty
not a
Man
merry
dressed up-
man. That's the only thing that's really makes it stand out.
I
Fun
was
fact from
upset in this
Smiler.
episode.
And there was a lack of Brent Spiner, which brings it down 2 points
Yeah.
automatically.
Fun fact from
I
Smiler
have to have-
Rainbow: Monty Man dressed as Robin Hood for the Millennium.
Oh.
That's true.
Did you wear tights?
I think I did. Or yeah.
Very
It was
good.
for
I
it was
was
for it's
upset
for a
about-
it was like a murder mystery evening, and I think I was playing an actor whose current role was Robin Hood, and I just come from the studio, so yes, I was dressed as Robin Hood. And I wasn't the I don't think I was the murderer at that time.
Oh, good on you. Good on you.
Yeah.
For legal
murdering
reasons, he
people.
has to state that.
And hopefully we don't have any photos of that anywhere. that's the
I was
main
about
thing.
to ask, and I'm like, I want to see photos.
Smiler, if you've got
Yeah,
any pictures, we'll
There's
show
that
them
whole
next time.
kind of 2000 to 2010 period where you had digital cameras, but you never did anything with them, and you just sort of lost them, and they don't exist anymore. I have no photos of me when I was 15 or 16. They just don't exist.
No, I don't think we have
Me,
anything digital.
2001,
then.
2002. They're just gone.
Yeah. So, here we go.
I was unhappy that Data was not in tights, and I had to wait all the way until thine own self to see his sexy legs in them tights.
Tavi, I
Here.
have had him dancing over my shoulder for the last hour just for you.
I understand that, but it's very small on the screen, and I want to see
eyes
his
are not that
leg.
good.
It's not the size; it's what you do with it.
Anyway,
I don't know.
here's the scoreboard. Look at the scoreboard. Ah, we have. Sorry, everybody. They've got their eardrums. Really glad. Right, Stu Plum and Tavikins are at the top with 6 points each. We got Subspace Chat on 4 in second place, and Mazma, Bob, and Andrew in joint third place with 2. They have Sean, Mickey, Ruth, and Goujon, all in fourth place. So well done, everyone. Well done, Tavi, for taking joint top. And well done to Dan for going second.
Giving it to me.
Yes. So, what do we score this episode then? Hopefully, people have put some things in chat. I've got my scoring thingamajiggy.
Yes, we do have things in chats.
I'm out of 2. I'm in the middle of 2 at the moment. I can't. Yes, I don't know. Are we ready?
I'm ready.
Ready.
I'm surprised Dan hasn't put like, I don't know, 0.3 or 6,000 in chat or something yet. He hasn't put a scoring.
Dan put 7 out of 10.
Oh, did he? Where?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that. Oh, yeah, sorry, it is.
Surely
7 out of
that
10.
should be 7 of 9.
Wow, there we go. Are we ready? 3, 2, 1. Fling. Yeah, I gave it 7 as well.
Oh, you got your paddle, Sean.
Hey,
Oh, sorry, yes, I got a
Sean's got a paddle.
That's a paddling. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I was between 7 and 8 actually, because I really enjoyed the episode and I really liked I just thought it was funny, and I really liked the fact that we got to get out of the Enterprise and like in woods, forests, castles, you know, with sets and costumes, and just for a season 4 that's been very much full of bottle shows. Sean has not said bottle show this stream.
No,
which,
because they actually went, yeah. Well, in saying that, I look forward to next week, but.
And I just like the whole mirroring of Vash's and Picard's dynamic in the real world and in the Sherwood Forest world, and how that is kind of. I thought it was quite clever, and I marked it down in the end though because of the use of Troy and the Doctor, and I thought that was a bit
You mean
pathetic.
the underuse?
The underuse,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
They didn't get character names. They didn't get to have cool sword fight sequences. That was all a bit shite. So for that, I took it down a couple. So there you go. That was my summary.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just not mad on. Sorry, Mazzy, you go.
No, you go.
I was just gonna say
Agree.
I'm not mad on Q episodes. I don't love them. They're fine, but yeah, it's probably the weakest of other than the D Space Nine episode that was god awful. But yeah, look, there's just nothing special about it. It wasn't good. It wasn't bad. It was just yeah.
For me, it was just the pure comedy. I mean, you know, a lot of people's criticisms are you got the first half where it's all about this conference in archaeology, and then you got the second half, and it's like two halves, and the episode didn't know what it's doing, all that kind of stuff. But to me, it's like, well, that's Q. You know, he brings the chaos. Like the fact that it is such a jarring change is the nature of Q. So I think that's kind of intentional. But yeah, I also quite enjoy Q episodes and just the comedy. I mean, you know, obviously there's, you know, the Worf lines, which are great. But there's quite a few other like really funny lines as well. You know, I think, you know, Crusher's quite funny. I think Deanna's got one good line, you know, with the shooting of Data. I just think the comedy in it
That was good.
beyond most episodes.
I like the Geordie is breaking his mandolin. That was funny. And
I do love that it's in Lower Decks that they reference this episode, and obviously Vash comes back with Q in D Space Nine, and that's referenced as well.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, I like that part that there's some continuity there. I like the canon building, the world building. But
I think
that's
you're in a group of one. I think, Sean, with your dislike of Q episodes.
Yeah,
I don't dislike them either, but this one got a 5 because I thought I didn't appreciate how the
no Brent.
Oh crap!
The lack of Brent and him, everybody else gets tights, and I don't get to see his legs. That's one thing. But like really annoyed me. It was weird. It was Vash's character. I hated her character, and that they used her. They used her dynamic when she's absolutely the exact opposite of what Picard should allow. It's like she's grave robbing, dude.
I know, but that's the whole point, isn't it? The fact that she's his bit of rough.
Yeah, but you know, it's like it's a bit bad. It's like no, it's like
chaos.
Yeah.
But I'm like, would he date Kivas, the dude that like took Data? I'm like, it's the same thing. And I was like, but you put a vagina on.
Yeah, but he didn't look like Vash, did he?
No. But he changes up his morals like just quit like for this episode, because like in the Risa one, she was cool, you know. It was they were looking for something that was abandoned. This was like an active civilization where they've told people don't come down here, and she's going, no, I'm gonna go down and steal some stuff and sell it. And I just broke into your ship. I'm in your room, and I'm like, what?
Oh, I thought it was cute.
Subspace has got a bit of a Vash crush, which, you know, is understandable.
I can't disagree.
Tavi, even the most powerful, you know, men, let's say Berlusconi, for example, sometimes stop thinking with the big head and start thinking with the small head. It's just the way it goes.
I guess so. But
I mean, it's like it's okay for women to like a bad boy, so I think it's okay for guys to like a bad girl.
But she's knowledgeable about archaeology, which is one of his main interests. So he's found someone that is sexy, intelligent, likes the same things he does, but is slightly morally, you know, bankrupt and a little bit like. But that's kind of like evens him out a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, the main benefit is that not in his chain of command. He's not responsible for her life. You know, she's just. They can fling away, and you know he doesn't. He can separate his professional life and the massive responsibility of having 1,000 lives under him, and just having a bit of fun.
I think he really is appealed to the fact that she won't say yes, sir. You know, when he says do something, he's used to finding people that just agree with him and follow his orders. Where with Vash, he's got an equal that will just ignore everything he says and do what she wants.
He does say that about Riker. When he in the episode Pegasus, and his Admiral Pressman and him are talking about. Pressman was like, he always followed orders really good, and he's like, well, actually, I heard him because one time he disagreed with his commander and argued his point, and said it's really important to have someone that does that. So he obviously respects and admires when someone stands up to him. And
What?
I
Oh
guess
God,
that's
what did
he
I
wants.
say?
And, well, I don't know. Subspace Chatter says Monty really went there, the Vag of Vash, and I'm like, I'm sure Monty didn't say that.
I know. You know what?
I think I'm fairly sure that was Tavi.
I didn't say that either.
Oh dear.
Clearly
Tavi's
Dan
on
heard
about
it.
Oh my.
China.
Oh my. Oh, I've gone all red.
Okay.
I'll have to play the stream back. What? Oh dear.
I think we need a portmanteau there. It should be called the Vagina.
Yeah. Okay. Can someone tell me what the other scores were? Maz, what did you say?
I said 8.
8.
Tavi said
5.
5, and audience average was
Which
7.
one? 7.
Yeah,
7.
It was 8 until Sean pitched his 5 in, and then it became 7.
Yeah, 6.75, same as last
Same
week.
as last
The average of the season, really.
Yeah, we seem to have flattened out a bit.
I'm excited about next week.
Right,
Oh.
can we see what's next week?
What's next week?
Oh, I'll give you a clue.
That's
The drumhead.
a clue. Oh.
I'll do this. You can't hear that, but
Ah.
I know you
Can
didn't.
we,
It's
can
fine.
we get the trailer?
I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
And doing it well.
Right, and doing it well. I got to
See you,
present it in
baby.
a different way,
Play
just
that
so you
dip.
guys can hear the audio. There you go. It's annoying because it puts a little white line around the thing, but never mind. Okay, here we go.
A mysterious accident uncovers sabotage on the Enterprise.
The Federation does have enemies. We must seek them out.
A ruthless interrogator stops at nothing to find a traitor.
I'm going to get to the heart of this conspiracy.
I'll fight it.
And Captain Picard becomes the target of a Starfleet witch hunt.
I brought down bigger men than you, Picard.
Justice hangs in the balance on Star Trek: The Next
Face
Generation.
palm.
Yeah. The face that launched 1,000 memes.
Yeah. Oh, the drumhead. That is a good episode.
Yeah, even if it is a bottle show.
Yeah,
Well,
It's more than a
although the
bottle show. It's
courtroom
almost a one room show.
although the courtroom is technically a new set, I suppose.
Is it?
Although
it? Like a transporter room.
it's a bridge redress.
Yeah, the Battle Bridge redress. That one again. Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to that next week. Actually, no. News alert. Awooga, news alert. We're not on next week. It'll be in 2 weeks' time. I'm away on holiday next week. So I'm
Isn't it
not.
well for some?
Yeah, so unfortunately, yeah, we'll be taking a break next week. It's half term here in England, and be taking the children away for half term with family. So yeah, no TNG review show next week, but we will be back in 2 weeks' time. Subspace Chat says this is his least favorite TNG episode.
Well, I take it means the drumhead.
Yeah.
I must admit, I wasn't getting excitement from that trailer.
It's just kind of
Well,
Stifler and
it's a
Nuki.
courtroom drama, not a trailer. The music doesn't match.
The thing is,
It's that woman though, her acting's.
We'll find out next
We'll
week,
see.
but
Yeah,
it's
we'll
just
see.
how dare
No,
they
the
go
week
after
after
our
next.
Picard? You know, well, how dare they? It's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
really frustrating.
Suplam says, "Are you going to Nuki?"
Yes,
Um,
yes.
And
I heard
Alexa, it's good
Nookie.
that Monty Ban mentioned Nuki. It's good that Monty Ban mentioned that. 'Cause I was going to say, Alexa, I think this might be your first evening tonight. I was going to
Oh
say,
yeah,
feel free if you enjoyed it tonight. I don't know if you tuned in just because it's a Q episode, but I
yeah.
was going to say, feel free to join us every week. We're here every week, but clearly we're not next
Not
week.
next week. Every week,
Yeah,
apart from next
almost
week.
every week.
Except for the
Almost
odd
every
week off at Christmas and sort of summer.
Yeah.
We take the odd holiday.
Odd
but other than
holiday.
that, every Wednesday at 8 p.m.
Yes. Dan, have you got a shout out for your streams this week? What have you got going on? Just let us know in chat and we'll shout it out. Yeah, but I think it's a good show this week. Good episode.
Well,
A fun episode. It's been a laugh.
Definitely.
On
Light-hearted.
behalf of
Love
Dan,
it.
I presume we'll be doing a Saturday show for the finale of Lower Decks.
Oh, is it the last one this week? Is it?
Oh, is it episode 9 or episode 10? God, I can't even remember.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. But he's probably got a live stream
Oh,
on.
sorry, it's episode 9. It's episode 9.
not the last one.
There's one more. The penultimate episode is this week.
Right.
So they'll be setting up the finale.
Yep, Dan's confirmed Lower Decks review show on Saturday, episode 9, and that's usually around 4.
4:30. Yeah, 4:30 Saturday on Subspace Channel. Yes. Okay, well, thank you, Subspace Channel. Thanks, Alexa, for coming and joining us. Duplum, thank you. Andrew, good to see you, sir. Better luck next time with the quiz. Ruth, Supreme Pego, Supreme. Thank you, everyone.
Andrew,
Ruth, yeah.
Stuplum, Wookie, if you're out there.
Wookie. Oh, yeah, I meant to say good evening to you, sir. Wookie, if you're out there. Yes. And we'll see you in 2 weeks' time for the Drumhead. We'll see you then. Cheers.
Looking forward to it.
Bye.
What's the universe? Always looking forward because we can't find reverse.